In today's lesson, I'd like to teach you an original waltz composition which is really great at getting you into fingerstyle. So even if you're into jazz, learning a piece like this is super helpful for getting your right hand involved for playing jazz chords if you've never played any fingerstyle whatsoever before. So before I begin, if you'd like to get the music for this that you can print out and follow along with, then you can do so by checking out the link in the description and you'll get the 2-page PDF handout. Let's get into the lesson. Throughout most of the piece, I'm using a fairly simple right hand fingerstyle technique. So if you've never played any fingerstyle before, this is a really good way about getting into that. So I've basically got my thumb on the bass string, and then I've got my index finger on the G string, middle finger on the B string, ring finger on the high E string, plucking up. So this is essentially pulling down, and I'm pulling up with these 3 fingers, getting a little bit of flesh and nail really. It's kind of subjective as to which part of the finger you use, but personally I think I kind of like a combination of both. You can get fake fingernails and things like that, and I guess you could actually play this hybrid style, but for this lesson we're just going to be focusing on fingerstyle. The first fingerstyle exercise that I'd like you to focus on is just hitting the E string with your thumb and then these 3 strings separate, and getting into that waltz feel. So all you need to do is go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do that a few times until it feels like it's locked in. The first bar of the music sounds like this. So that's another good exercise to do to get used to it, hitting both of the E strings and the 2 inner strings like so. And what you want really is these first 2 strings to sustain and overlap the B and the G string. Once you've got that, you're really forming the basis for the rest of this composition. So after you've played that in the first bar, you catch the high B note right there on the top string, 5th fret and the low string, open strings. Okay, so sorry, rather than the open E string, it's actually fret number 2, F sharp. So it goes open, B, A, F sharp, and then we've got this kind of B7 chord here, this 3-finger B7 chord going to the 5 chord. We'll hit the 5th and the 1st string together. So there's the melody note, and by the way, the melody by itself, just so you can hear it, goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like that. So if I play the melody again, so you can hear the first A section, as it were, the melody by itself. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So it's a simple melody, but when you have that kind of that inner fill on beats 2 and 3, it kind of sounds more complex than what it is. Okay, so once you get to B7, then there, it's kind of a nice G7 flat 13 chord being referenced. So, and then you're back to that initial, and that's just some bass movement there as well, which is kind of another fingerstyle exercise that you could do where you just play, especially in 3/4, root 5th, root 5th, and if you wanted to make that more complex, the bridge goes to the 4 minor 7 chord, so we're starting there on A minor, and once again bass note, chord, and then all 3 together, back to the 1 chord, that rhythm again, once again going to a B7, but this time we've got something a little bit different. We've got the bass note, and then the melody note being harmonised with the open B string. Similar thing, and then we'll go to a C chord, and then we've got this little chromatic thing, leads us back into this section 5 chord, and then the way which we finish this song is to basically play the last 4 bars again, but with the harmonic on the 12th fret. So that in a nutshell is how you play this jazz waltz. Like I say, it's great for just getting your right hand involved with some movement on a guitar if you've not done that before. And once you've done something like this, you can really take this technique and move it to things like jazz chords, jazz fingerstyle, or maybe some other classical pieces as well. Things like that, which I'm not an expert at playing, but equally I don't think you don't need to be a virtuoso, you don't need to have Tommy Emmanuel style right hand technique just to kind of get some fun effects going with this style. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please subscribe to this channel and please give this video a like for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.